Hello everyone, this is Tom Fox. I would like to welcome you to the Sunday Book Review. The Sunday Book Review is the series where I discuss books which impact the compliance practitioner, the legal professional, and the business professional. I hope you will enjoy this episode. The Sunday Book Review for December 13, 2020. We take things in a very different direction today as we take a look at four of the top books as recommended by Hunter S. Thompson. Number one, Lie Down in Darkness by William Styron. When he was just 26, William Styron's novel Lie Down in Darkness was met by critical acclaim when first released and established him as one of the era's great writers. Thompson, speaking to Robert Ballou, editor of Viking, commented, "Last week I read two fairly recent American novels, Acrobat Admits by Harold Grossman and After the Long Science by Robert Gutwilling, and saw enough mistakes to make me look long and hard at mine. Although I'm already sure that the Thompson effort will be better than both of those, I'm looking forward to the day I can say it will be better than Lie Down in Darkness. When that day comes, I will put my manuscript in a box and send it to you." Next up, the Kandy Colored Tangerine-Fake Streamline Baby by Tom Wolfe. One of Thompson's contemporaries, Tom Wolfe first collected books of essays, The Kandy Colored Tangerine-Fake Streamline Baby, which was originally published in 1965. Taken from a letter to Tom Wolfe, the author of the book, Thompson said, "I owe the National Observer in Washington a bit of money for stories paid and never written while I was working for them out there. And the way we decided I'd work it off was for book reviews of my own choosing. Yours was one. They sent it to me and I wrote this review, which they won't print. I called the editor one day from the middle of a Hells Angels rallies at Bass Lake and he said he was sorry and he agreed with me, but there was a feeling around the office that about giving you a good review. Anyway, here's the review. If it does any good in the head to know that it caused the final severance of my relationship between myself and the Observer, then it will at least do somebody some good. As for myself, I'm joining the Hells Angels and figured I should have done it some 6 years ago." Next up, one of my personal favorites, The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. It's a bona fide classic, recommended to Angus Cameron, the former editor at Knopf. Thompson said, "If history professors in this country had any sense, they would tout this book as a capsule cram course in the American dream. I think it is the most American novel ever written. I came across it in a bookstore in Rio de Janeiro. The title in Portuguese was O Grande Gatsby, and it was a fantastic thing to read in that weird language and know the futility of the translation. If Fitzgerald had been a Brazilian, he'd had the country dancing to his words instead of his music." And finally, Down and Out in Paris by George Orwell. Down and Out in Paris, the first full-length work by the now iconic author George Orwell, solidified the foundations of one of Britain's most celebrated creatives. Speaking to Angus Cameron, Knopf editor, Thompson said, "Fiction is the bridge to the truth that journalism can't reach. Fiction lies when they're added up, and the only kind of journalism I can pay much attention to is something like Down and Out in Paris. But in order to write that punch-out stuff, you have to add up facts in your own fuzzy way, and to hell with the hired swine using the adding machines." So touche to Hunter S. Thompson, and check out some of these books. I've read them, and they are well worth the time. This month on 31 Days to a More Effective Compliance Program, I take up the topic of training and communications. This is the last month of the year, so this will be the last series of the nuts and bolts of compliance. Over on the Compliance Life, this month I featured Kim Yapchai, the Chief Ethics and Compliance Officer and Chief Sustainability Officer at Tenneco. She has a fascinating career path and journey through compliance. I know you will enjoy it. Also, check out the Wirecard Saga, a new podcast offering where with Mikhail Ryder Gordon, we take a look at the Wirecard fraud in a very deep way.